That's fine. There's a little tussle between the previous past conditioning of Srishti Drishti Vada, where everything is separate, the Dvaitam belief, and now being actually able to recognize Advaita. And that's fine. That's the way it is for you. Slowly, the past conditioning fades off, and you only see Advaita.
It's like this being like this combination of everything together, all these realizations. It's clear that everything, the whole life that we say is just a thought. It just arises as a thought and then it just manifests itself. Like Sindhu itself is a thought, and then Sindhu's whole career and office and life and all the things connected to that, the whole story is just a thought. If that doesn't come, then that doesn't even exist at this right now moment. Nothing exists really. So trying to understand this transactional reality, it's kind of funny, where there's only one. Here it feels like I'm talking to myself because there's nobody there. It's like just I wantedly assume another character and then I'm like talking to that. It's like a play or it's a game. It's like whole thing designed itself is like a very funny game.
Yes.
That's really nobody else. It's just you know. There's no do, but it's like in order to explain, and you do these things by knowing that there's nothing.
Yes. Super.
That's
Very nice. Yeah.
Is that how one will be in this transactional behavior with this knowledge?
Earlier, you used to pretend a little more. Slowly, slowly, the pretensions drop. The body mind behavior will now follow the new knowledge. Slowly, slowly, it will take its time. So earlier, how you used to pretend to be the daughter to the mother and the friend to the friend or the colleague to the colleague, and there was this extra effort to talk, to do, to be, to interact. That effort, you will see, will just take a step back. And then you will just, whatever continues because of the past, whatever you had fed it in, the past petrol that is there in the gadi still goes. And slowly there will be a change, a transformation, like a metamorphosis. You will not recognize that Sindhu, and mom will only know that Sindhu will not recognize this Sindhu. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So mom, because she knows you since you're a baby, and then all the people in your life that came, they know a Sindhu that does not exist anymore.
Just last week she told me, you become very silent. Like, really? I didn't know. I was just being myself. I was like, no, I'm just being myself. And I'm like, okay, fine, I take it.
Some people are very attached to maybe taste. So for them, that is the thing that is very difficult to see as one single screen thought. They are so attached to taste. Some people are very attached to, say, touch. So that becomes their biggest problem. So everybody has a different thing which will be the last to, the last one, the last straw. Yes, everybody will have a different last straw. That's why I worked in detail with each sense, even if it was just a repetition, because everybody has a different attachment to a different sense. And you don't know which one of yours will go first and which will be the last. So you just be authentic, work with all, and let the process unfold. That is why we have three separate realities very clearly pointed out. When you are in the Vyavharik Satyam, you do your transactions with the world according to the Vyavharik world. You have to be the mother to your child. You can't say suddenly, oh, I'm not your mother anymore. Your child will say, Mom has gone cuckoo. Yeah. So you can't do such things. That does not mean Advaita. Okay, please become very clear. The Vyavharik level, the body mind acts according to its past conditioning. I recognize that I am not this body mind. I am separate from this body mind. I am that emptiness, that no thingness. I can clearly see myself as no thingness. This body mind is just like a robot and it is continuing its actions or its identity with the transactional world depending on its past conditioning. But now the difference is I recognize I'm separate from it. I don't control it. I don't run it. I had just assumed ownership of this, and that ownership was a false ownership, deluded. It's like saying, I own the moon. No, you don't own the moon. But okay, if you want to believe, you can believe that for 20 years of your life. Then comes along an Advaitin master and says, come on, wake up. You cannot own the moon. And then you say, oh, I owned it for 20 years and now I don't own it. No, you didn't own it from day one. That is the meaning of it is an illusion. So the body mind called Shailaja has some conditioning. Let me not step onto another living being and not be a party to killing something. So that's a wonderful conditioning. Let it continue. If it continues, let it drop if it drops. I have got nothing to do with it. That is where you have to move now. I've got nothing to do with what this body mind does. It is doing it automatically in this Vyavharik world. So if it wants to go travel, let it go travel. Now you don't say, oh, I'm an Advaitin. Now I have lost all desires for travel. No, relax. The body mind is different. I am not this body mind called Shailaja. Recognizing the truth is easy. The glimpse is very easy. But getting established in that truth, that is the main journey. So you are not really walking on the ants or not walking on the ants. I don't do anything. Yeah, so start looking at it from that angle.
I was just trying to say how comparison with the dream really puts in your faith of how everything in the waking dream is also a thought again and again.
Yes, yes. That is why we use Swapna Nidra Jnana. Because that is the only way that I can really establish my feet in uh, experiential recognition rather than just listening to something and believing, because everything else is based on belief. Okay, because the teacher is saying so, I take it. But the easiest way is when I see it in my own sleep and dreams. It makes it so real. Yes, this is so true. I teach you from Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad is based on Avasthatrayam. Avasthatrayam is same, waking, dreaming, deep sleep. So if you're really interested, we will do a Mandukya Upanishad in the future. It is a short Upanishad, but it helps open up these three states more. Good. So chapter 12 is clear? So now you can start your Ajatvada journal, because this is where Ajatvada begins. Seeing everything as an object. Go very slow through your journal. And do not be quick in writing, this is also a thought, this one is also a thought. Am I really seeing it like that? So write it only if it is experiential. Otherwise, wait, it's okay. You don't have to rush through it. The journal itself is an exercise that helps me transform. Have you noticed? It's not something that you're doing like homework like you did in school. I have to submit an exam sheet. No, it's something that you're doing and it's constantly changing. What you wrote maybe 2 months ago, today you want to just write something else. You want to change it. Go ahead and change. It's okay. Just change the font color so I can know what has been changed. Yeah, it's like a transformative sadhana in itself. That's how they do in the Advaitin monastic schools. So all these monks and nuns, they have schools in Advaita Vedanta. They go and live in a monastery and then they also take examinations like this. So I had the luck of being to a monastery and I know this procedure. I've seen them take exams and I've seen them sit and discuss during exams and study, and they've had like this notes. So it's the same thing. The only difference is they study the Shastras and we study the material sciences, the material world. So it helps you transform completely.
Bibi Sindhu here. I want to share something. With respect to sight, it happened some time ago. Used to be a traveler. I love to had these desires to go see places and different countries and stuff. And after this journey within Advaita, at some point, this realization happened where there's nothing really outside, right? With respect to time and space and distance, everything, all these realization of these don't exist. It felt like I'm where I am. There's nothing to see. Even if I go to a top of a mountain or to an ocean to speak in terms of this worldly labels that we give, I'm not going to see anything there. It's all here inside. There's nothing new I'm going to see. It is going to be the same thing. Wherever I go, it's going to be the same thing. So why am I even having this desire to travel? And that broke because Sindhu used to love to travel. And then there is no going anywhere, literally, right? Wherever I am, that is that. That's it. It broke. Because I had this... somebody might have it in food, but I had this in to go to these places. It was so serious desires for years, and it just broke, and that went in all the different senses as well. Everything that's experiencing, there's no experiencing anything. It's just that being itself, and it's just a label that I gave before, okay, this is this and this is that. But ultimately, it's all the same thing. Like you said, it's all the same thing. I don't know how else to explain. So it was interesting when it breaks.
Yes.
There's no bondage, nothing can enchant anymore.
Yes.
It's all the same.
Yes.
It's not different.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah.
I want to say that right now it's like there are two modes on. One is when you have to put in effort and say, okay, now I'm going to put the thought mode on and see things as a thought, and then I see it as a thought. And then when you get lost and doing your things it appears real. So it's like a practice where you see the screen, you see the family members, you're hearing everything, and you're seeing it as a thought, and everything, just the bondage with them drops at the moment you see it as a thought. So I'm just saying that it's back and forth as thought and real, and comparison to the dream every time really helps in seeing this as a thought, because the experiment that we did now, and then when I think of the dream where all the components are there, it is a thought. When I wake up, I know it didn't exist. And so it is the same now. So it's wonderful how when you see things as a thought, when you put in that effort, the bondage just breaks.
Good. So chapter 12 is clear?